Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. In case you're new to my channel, my name is Renee from Renee Stained Glassworks, and this is a channel where I like to talk about everything stained glass. So if that's something that interests you and you like today's video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And so I had a viewer ask me recently how I package and ship 3D pieces. So that's what this is going to be about today. This is a 3D hummingbird that I make, and this is actually my most popular seller. And I have a free pattern for this on my website, reneestainedglassworks.com. I'll go ahead and put the link in the description below. So I'm going to do a video about packaging that. The first video I did was about how to package and ship the flat pieces, and I'll put the link for that in the description below as well. So I'm going to show you guys 3 different ways that I do it, that I package and ship the 3D pieces. I have one way where I use the popcorn. The other way is with paper. And the last one is with those little air pouch things. I'm not really sure what you call them, but you'll see what I mean. I'm going to go ahead and package with that as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I sign my piece here. You want to make sure you sign all your artwork. There it is. I like to make my signatures small. I don't like to take up a lot of room on the glass. So I'm just kind of getting everything ready, my bubble wrap and stuff. And for that really long beak, I'm going to wrap that with some of the bubble wrap here. You'll see how I do it. You want to make sure that you get it wrapped nice and tight around the beak there. And I kind of go around the head a little bit too, kind of to use it as extra support. I'm just going to tape that off. But I'm also going to be careful not to touch the glass with the tape. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap my piece here in the bubble wrap. This is what I do before any way that I package it. I get it kind of prepped here and wrapped up tightly in the bubble wrap. So I'm just going to go ahead and tape it up here. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit through this part. It's kind of boring. So this is the size box that I use for my hummingbirds, and I get these boxes at Walmart, and I'll go ahead and put the link for that in the description below. I found that they're the most affordable boxes, and the size of my hummingbird that I put in here is 8.5, no, I think it's 8 inches tall by 6.25 inches wide, and this seems to be the perfect fit for that size. And I'm just going to go ahead and tape up the box and tape up my sides and my ends here. Okay, so I'm just checking to make sure that everything's gonna fit and it all looks good. And I'm gonna do this first demonstration is gonna be using the popcorn. And this is what I was talking about when I was talking about having some place to store your packing supplies. You can see it's big and bulky, and I'm using, this is all recycled popcorn, and I store it in a garbage bag, and it's just a pain to have to keep around, but it's so nice to use. This is probably one of my favorite ways to pack my 3D pieces. And so I just want to get a good layer on the bottom there, some cushion, and then I'm going to place the piece right on top of that. And so basically from here, all you're going to do is just fill around with the popcorn. You just want to make sure it's, you know, all filled and packed tightly. Okay, so now we're going to get ready to do the next packing method. And I'm going to start by putting a piece of foam board down in the bottom of my box. And this is just some recycled bubble wrap that I had. I'm going to put in the bottom for just extra cushion. I try to use as much recycled as possible. I don't like to hoard things. I'm pretty selective about it. And you're going to go ahead and place your piece right in the center of the box, just like before. And this is the paper method. And I really love using this method. And what you're going to do is you're just going to wad up pieces of paper and pack them around your piece. And you want to pack them pretty tight. You don't want any, you know, gaps in between. You want a pretty solid packing job. And so that's basically all you do. You're just going to go around the whole piece like that. And I honestly, I love this method. It is the method that I use when I'm out of popcorn. And honestly, in a lot of ways, it's just as good, if not better than the popcorn. I feel like it offers a lot of protection. And as far as storing it, it's so much easier to store than the popcorn. And if we're talking about price, it's definitely more affordable. You can get this, I think this is the moving paper, the packing paper you get for moving. And I'll see if I can put a link in the description below. I think I got it at Walmart, a big, huge container of it, or package of it. So I'll try to put a link for that in the description below. It's much more affordable than the popcorn. And you see there I have some gaps that I have to fill on the sides. You certainly don't want any gaps in there. We want to pack it as tight as possible and protect that box and the contents in it, obviously. But I don't want the box to be able to get crushed. It's, if you watch my first video, it's very similar as far as I want to pack the box tight. If the box takes on any type of, you know, damage, I want it to be able to hold up to it and protect what's inside. So you can see I kind of overpacked it a little bit. That's too much. So I'm going to go ahead and make my adjustments. Sometimes you got to take some out and, and maybe rip a sheet of paper in half or whatever, but you want it tight and you don't want to overfill it because you don't want to break your piece inside. But that looks pretty good right there. I'm going to put the bubble wrap and top it off with another foam sheet. That's also going to help protect your box if it's, if it comes into any type of, contact with somebody who's not so gentle with it. It'll help to protect it. So yeah, that's going to be a good fit right there. Okay, so that looks great. Just gonna need to put my business card on top, and then that will be ready for taping. And that was the paper packing method. And now this is what I was talking about, those air pockets. I really don't know what you call them, but this is how I package using these. And I kind of do the same method. I put the foam sheet on the bottom of my box and I add a little bit of bubble wrap, and then I wrap these around the 3D piece in the box, and I just keep stuffing and stuffing until it's full, basically. And I'm not a huge fan of this method, only because I worry if the air, if it deflates out of one of those little pockets, then I'm worried that my piece won't be as protected. And I've never had anything like break during shipping for this or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, I worry about it, and I worry about shipping enough as it is. I'm always worried as soon as I send out a package, and until it gets to my customer, I fret it the whole time. So it does work, and it's a good way to reuse some of your packing material. I know that a lot of companies today love using these, and it is a good way to help keep your costs down, and it does work. Like I said, I've never had anything happen to where anything is broke when I've used these. So yeah, I'm just going to keep packing until it's fully packed in there, no gaps or anything like that, and that looks good. And then I'm going to do the same thing, the foam board on the top and the business card, and then we're going to go ahead and tape it all off. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what I do with how I do the outside of the box. Obviously, that's my return address label. And another thing that I like to put on the boxes are these fragile stickers. I got these from Amazon. I'll put a link below in the description below. I don't know how much they are now. I purchased them a couple years back, and I think it was only like $5 for 5,000 of them. And I just really like them. They work really good. I think it catches everybody's eye and lets you know, yeah, it's fragile. Please be careful. So I tape everything off so that nothing can get ripped off the box. And yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. And so far, I've had a really good track record as far as my pieces making it on time, and no breaks. So this is what works for me, and I thought that I would share with everybody. And thank you all so much for your feedback and your comments and questions, and I really appreciate it. So a couple things before we leave here is the different ways that I used to package and ship. I'll say that my favorite way is obviously with the popcorn. Um, However, the downside to the popcorn is that it's expensive to start with, and also storage is a problem. It does work really well. I've been very successful when shipping my pieces in this. They always arrive safely in one piece. The paper method is also another great method. That's probably, if you're looking for cost effective, that's probably the most cost effective way. And also, it's so much easier to store paper, flat sheets of paper, than it is to store the popcorn and the little air pouch things. Those things are also a little bit of a pain to store. And so between those two, the popcorn and the paper packing method, those are my two favorite ways to package my 3D pieces. The air pocket ones, it is a good way. It's a good way to recycle it, to keep your shipping costs down. Not good for storage. And honestly, I've never purchased those, so I really don't know what they cost. I don't know if they're expensive. I don't know how you have to fill them or anything like that. Um, but yeah, those are just some things to think about. And I really hope that this helps some people out. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please go ahead and leave them, and I'll do my best to answer them. Also, please follow me on Facebook. I'll leave a link in the description below. And again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.